is making you sure that the learners, that is any of the participants, should not stop themselves from doing the work in a different way. So today's there is a need is happen to have never stop learning. That is one of the parameters I think as a teacher of the management. When we try to be looks towards the today's culture, we have to make sure that participants are of two types. One is going to be the group of participants who are going to be work on a face-to-face basis, and second are going to be online basis, and third is going to be the flexible way. Under the flexible way, they are going to be attempt to the course structure as and when time is being required. So there is a need is happen that human memory, which is going to be depends on the environment. Like whenever today's never the marketing person or teacher like we are being going to the society, then different diversity of the culture have been looked upon by us, the societal environment, geographical environment, giving certain short-term memory in our mind, which is going to be of the limited time. But it's happened that some of the places when we go, it brings us to the long term of the memory. Like as a teacher, we can say that whenever we are going towards any field visit, factory visit, by taking the student along with us, and then when we see the plant working, it brings the long-term memory in our mind. Mind the student will have the short-term memory because our mind is being habituated to think in a more detailed manner, and those are going to be converted into the cases. So whenever we say the higher educational institutions, the development of the cases are going to be based on the long-term memory supported by the environmental and the short-term memory. So as a teacher, we don't have to give more practice in thinking to the students. Instead of, we have to say that what they have to think with. When we say that more in thinking means they are going to be think in a particular way which we direct it. But in the coming scenario, pageant scenario, we have to give the students more to think with something else. It means that when there is a work from home is being started, the our ex-student or some of the my ex MBA students have approached to me and they have said that when we are being working from home, then there is a tie-up is happening or somewhere the human side efforts are coming in constant with our long-term achievement of the target. So what I have to suggest them, you find out the place or the working place within your home, or if it is not available in your home, then in your society, in your building, and you can do it. So this is what the today's Nevam people like to think with. The student and teacher relationships are very importantly shown in the PPT. I hope that the PPTs are being viewable, madam. Hello? Hello? PPTs are viewable and I am also audible. Correct? Okay. So there is a student and teacher relationship is coming, which is basically being indicated by the one of the statue in the European countries, where the teacher tries to be put a hand on the shoulder of the student and try to explain him something that what to do. which indicates that the student and teacher should have the intimacy with each other. So teacher is being considered here as a stimulating factor, directing factor, and the guiding factor. And the learners are going to be evaluated, that whether the learning outcomes are being achieved or not. So as a teacher, when we try to be prepared our session plan, we have to teach our session plan in a particular sequence in the hierarchical order we have to go it. It means that we should start with our theoretical parameters, conceptual parameters, and control the learning, dispenser of knowledge, and ultimate authority as a director of the learning. So in our course, we are supposed to be indicate not one book. Let me understand, in a higher education institution, it is not like a college education or the undergraduate education, where the one or two prescribed books are there and the things are covered under that. Under the higher education, we have to take the course from minimum 3 to 4 books, different chapter for different concept to explain. So we should go through in depth the particular session we have to take. So this requires our peak classroom working more. And normally I used to be say that from the month of December or so, I know normally publishers, representatives are coming to the college and they are showing so much book to us. So I say to my faculties, I'm just trying to say that what way I try to be manage my higher education institute. Do you agree with madam for these parameters? That how I do it? Hello? Hello? Hello madam? I'm just making a point that I'm going to be indicate categorically that how I am managing in my university. Okay? Instead of only to going through the slide show. Is it okay? Because what I understand, majority are the faculties only. Okay. So what is being happening that I give to my faculties each subject wise 3 to 4 book which is being received. Then I say that from the next June when we are going to be make a session plan, this month's session plan, this year's session plan, you change. You know the content to be covered. Now, whatever the new books having came to you, read it and change the book for a particular topic. That is one of the very important thing. And to satisfy the need of the students, we make the T1, T2, T3. It means textbook number 1, textbook number 2, textbook number 3. And I say to the students that every books, we have the few copies have been kept in the library. But I say among the group students that one of the students can buy the T1 book, one of the students can buy the T2 books, one of the students can buy the T3 books. And they go on changing it. So in this rotation, they know that what best way explain under each concept. And that is the way hierarchical learning happen, because there is a binding of the knowledge is one of the very important things happen. That is what the Bloom's taxonomy says that. Now, based on that, we used to say that they prepare the comprehension, they prepare the summarization note, and number of times one particular course, like if I may be discussing about a capital structure, why the Mukesh Ambani have decided not to have the debt, then I make a discussion group. And from that discussion group, the concept of a new ways of the financial management have been discussed. Capital structure has been discussed. So decision maker, we are supposed to be the decision maker in the classroom. So teaching is basically the imparting the knowledge or skill. We should impart them the knowledge and skill. So what we do, we prepare the session plan in the beginning of the year, we give it to the students, where it was being said that what is the topic name, which is the chapter number of the textbook number T1, T2, T3, whichever being preferred in a preference order, it is being given. And then also it is being given the activities we are going to do it. Pre-classroom, within classroom, and the post-classroom we have to do it. So students are coming to the classroom by reading. So it is a given instruction. So it is an active process where we as a teacher share the information with others to see that what type of behavior change they have to do it. Now when we give it to the students everything, so as a teacher, we become the expert. And as an expert, we pass on the knowledge to the learners. Because every time student may not be student. Because if I consider him as a student, then I have to go for the spoon feeding. But majority time in the management education and higher education, we are not going on a spoon feeding. We are saying that you are learners. So we give them the session plan in advance. Students are passively receiving the information, and people can teach them something to others, even unconsciously. So whenever we are doing a comprehension, we are doing in the case of the knowledge, the observation, listing, we are trying to say that you name something, like which company what have been done. If you are being a teacher of the science academy, I'm from the commerce and management, so my example on that side. But if you are from the science side, then you can say that what is going on, like a COVID is happening, what are the different way avenues are being available, what are going to be the reaction being coming on account of the environment, on the physics, on the from the view of the physics, from the view of the chemistry, like water problem, you can look into it. So teaching is going to be unconsciously by creating the group, we are getting it. And that is basically happening by demonstrating in the case of the science academia. And then we discuss it. We summarize the parameters. So now this teaching is converted into learning. And this teaching is converted into the learning is a process, not a product. That's one of the very important things you have to keep it in mind. So learning is not an end product, it's a process. Like today also, when I have to make this discussion, this session, I have to go through something new. That's what is happening. So it's a change in knowledge, belief, behavior, and attitude. I have to make sure, we have to make sure that our learners, like who are being engineered, they are capable enough to think over the avenues available for the re-engineering, avenues available for reducing the cost, finding out the substitute type of the raw materials. So it's not something done to student, but something that student themselves to do. That's one of the very important thing. So University of Pittsburgh have very categorically said that students themselves have to do something. So we take laboratory experiment in the case of chemistry. In the case of life sciences, human sciences, we are saying that you go with our observations, you go with our questionnaire to the specific mode. You understand that food phone of the customers have been coming. Does the on food phone being converted into customer or not? Or what is the impact of the advertisement? So it's assimilating the information with a resultant change in behavior. Means in a which particular culture, what type of advertisement is to be given. When we say the going to is a South Indian parameters, where the culture is different, so there the advertisement is required in a different culture way, in compared to the Gujarat, in compared to the Maharashtra, in compared to the Rajasthan. The methodology should be separate. So our learners who are going to be working any place, changing their job, then they have to change their behavior. So they have to construct their own understanding. So when we say that they have to construct their own understanding, means they should use and apply the knowledge they have received. They should go on using the problem solving method by manipulating, designing, and experimenting the things. So such type of learning we have to provide. So here the students are actively involved. So people can learn throughout their life either consciously or unconsciously. Now here the very important method parameters is coming, teaching and learning. What is that? Teaching is the skill that can be improved. It means individual have the particular skill. A person who is being born in the Tamil Nadu is knowing the mother language of the Tamil Nadu. Now there is a need is happen to increase his skill at a different level to bring it to use the local language in a linguistic way, in a particular novel way, people to learn it. And teaching is what you do, means as a teacher, what we teach them. While learning is the process bring together cognitive, emotional, and environmental influence and experiences that bring together our cognitive, detail I'm coming later on, emotional, and the environmental experiences, making change in the learner's knowledge, value, skill, and worldview. Nowadays, we know that people used to be say in past that interest rate should be more. Now, when this government have come, the interest rate have been reduced with a particular intention that the startup company or the industrialist or the traders will borrow the more money. Now the question is coming that government authority as a learner should have to understand, does this process has happened? What they have thought for it or not? It means that it requires the analysis. Identify and analyze the pattern happen. So as a teacher of management or as a teacher of the higher education, we are supposed to be keep the watch. We are supposed to analyze the pattern and bring those organizations then recognize them among the student community and the learners community. Now, when I say that we are the higher education teacher, I said I'm a teacher of management. So now there is a very wide differences coming. We are not supposed to be teacher. We are supposed to be the professional teacher. The very important point is that teacher is basically help the student to acquire the knowledge. Like when we were up to the higher secondary education, we acquire the knowledge of geography, geometry, algebra, and all those subjects. And then we develop the competence. It means that we find that which area is being better for us. And we bring our virtues. By social science subject also, teachers are bring the virtues in the mind of the society. That what our Mahatma Gandhi have done, what our past freedom fighter have done, what religiously Buddha Bhagwan have said, Mahavir Bhagwan have said, that is the acquire of the knowledge and virtues people have to obey. Subject knowledge being given, what I explained, by way of geometry, and the teacher is going to be the competence in teaching the subject. That's a very important. Teacher is going to be have the competence in the teaching a particular subject. and loan may be taken by anyone. So, number of times it's happened that in a homeschooling, instruction is being given by the mother to the child, then the mother is one of the teacher. Homeschooling, literacy, numeracy, knife scale can be given. So teacher is a person who is knowledgeable and who pass the knowledge. When we try to be say the professional teacher, very important differences happen. As a professional teacher or the teacher of the higher educational institutions, we are not going to be taught, we are being said as a teacher of accountancy, teacher of chemistry, like that. But we are supposed to bring in the classroom the comprehensive level knowledge, application of other subject. We outright cannot say that it is not my area. Like as a teacher of the finance, number of times the students are asking me that, sir, what happened if such type of marketing is happen? Then what I do, I bring students have ages, so my newspaper reading and that have made me to understand that there is some advertisement is coming in the newspaper of the Bina Home Finance or something. Then I bring it to the classroom and I solve that problem of that. So so as a professional teacher, we should be knowledgeable, enthusiastic. So the naive usage of the iPod, reading are too much is very important. It should create supportive and respectful environment. So as a professional teacher, we are supposed to get a supportive and respectful environment by building the authentic relationship between the management, that is the leader of our university, our college, leader may be the principal, the leader of the principal is going to be the VC, like something. Second side, he has to maintain down the line the authentic relationship with our junior teachers, students, etc. And you have to open to the new ideas. And that's required continuous learning. Appreciate the diversity. That's what I say. That I can't stick to my subject only. I'm supposed to be make the complicated subject matter understandable. Like if you take the example of some financial institution parameter you are discussing, then you may have to complicate it. You say that this is the particular Muthum Finance is there, you are one of the company, there is going to be the public sector bank, there is going to be the private sector bank, they are going to be working particular different way, their parameters are going to be different. So as a professional teacher, our responsibility is increased at a higher level. So here I can say learning in teaching and teaching for learning. This is a both thing is being happening. So whenever I teach to my students are coming down in the third semester after completing the summer internship program. So there I say the students to present the summer internship report, make the presentation in the classroom in the presence of faculty. So what happened? During the course of students are explaining something, means students here work as a teaching. I learn something and sometimes I'm teaching for learning. So ways of teaching and learning, different teaching methods and strategies can be clustered according to the number of students be or being taught. Number of time I found in my college also that some faculty doesn't like to do the more work. I'm just saying before 4-5 years ago. They used to be create the group of 6 to 7 students. Resulted into next number of group projects they have to verify. Next number of group project they have to manage and guide them. So I made a compulsory that any group that cannot be more than 3 students, and you as a faculty, one of the member of the group. It means that whenever the 3 students are making the group project, they are paying only getting the knowledge and acquisition that what we are doing. So teacher is supposed to guide it. And somewhere the session plan being seen that 40 hours of session teaching, another 10 hours for this management of presentation. So we have to nice group happen, then it's result into lecture, expository happen, panel discussion happen, then some of the students or the learners are going to be the passive learners, seminars, forum, demonstration, and combination of the lecture demo. We normally used to be held the student seminar age regularly. Or for small groups, we make our own thing. That is, they go to the particular supermall, they do the study of the marketing behavior. We have the budget session can be happen. We create the workshop. Process approach and discovery learning can be happen through the support of cooperative learning. And that is being happen only by the group project. So personally, I think that the group projects happening is alone. And it may be modular instruction way e-teaching. Like in a last year, when the COVID was high, in my subject and every subject we made it compulsory that the students virtually doing e-learning, preparing the group project, and they present it on the Google Meet platform or any of the platform. They make the presentation, and then we get the recorded copy. So program instructions have been coming. So online also we could manage it very well. So there is going to be the difference is going to be happen between the student versus learner. So there are two things. When I go to the undergraduate school, undergraduate courses, when I go to the schooling level, they are my students. But when I go to the higher education institution, those students are being converted into learner. And today's pandemic time is very important. So students learn in a classroom, while a learner learns anytime, anywhere. Like before the 3 years ago, I took my students and I also went, being a senior professor, so I was interested, so I went to the NDDB, National Dairy Development Board in the Army, where in the beginning students have been explained what is the production flow, how the milk working have been done, how the milk is being finally packed. Then afternoon we have made a specific session to study, to discuss with the CFO and the finance guys. That how do you manage the revenue among the farmers? Very important thing. Because farmers are being NDDB connect the milk from the farmers to the cooperative society network, and they are being paid. When they are being paid, so what we did, we have completed the whole course of the payment to the supplier on the spot at the place of the NDDB. So student is directed by teacher. Here, when we went to NDDB, it was direct and supported their own learning. So in spite of raising my question more, the participants, my students have raised more questions. Students work within a defined time. One worker in a learner works at their own pace. Then what we see that after you completed this visit, you are supposed to be submit the report of your visit, what you understand, and what parameters you like and dislike, and the reason behind it. So they are being motivated by the mastery of the skill. I say that the skill is more important. Gauge you can get it based on the annual examination and that. But to motivate the student, we have increased the internal marks for that. Follows the goals that are set and monitored by the teacher. Here, the learners are developing their own learning goals and monitor their own progress. One or two students who have belongs to the rural area, there are so many questions to the production people there. Like you are taking the mean from our village, how do you decide the different parameters of the mean quantity? So student achieves by listening and following the instruction, while learner achieve by active collaborations and feedback with others. So there also it was being happened. I recall that when we were coming back by the bus, I was feeling that the majority of the students may go for sleep because we started early morning and it was late evening. But few students were discussing among each other in our local language only, okay? No need that the English is required. You know, in Gujarati language, they were discussing among each other that what they understood, why they were doing something. So it is what happened, the conversations have been happened, and they have the passion and interest. While in the case of experiences teachers, design activities and practices. So in the case of student knowledge, the teacher decide what to do. Here, learners have decided what to do by them, and that is the need of the HEI. So there is a need of reception learning. Friends, what I try to do, I try to become to the very specific point which are being required to be known by you. So I'm not taking you to the theoretical knowledge of the B.Ed college or M.Ed college. Reception learning. So higher education institutions require the reception learning. Through the learners inherently curious, they may not be able to know what is important to anyone, and they need external motivation in order to learn. So now when there is some discussion was going on, there my POM teacher, that is production or operation management teacher also was there along with us. Marketing teacher was also us. So the POM teacher has specifically motivated the commerce background our management students of third semester that what they should ask or what is genuine to them. So he tried to say that whatever the Q theory we learned, that is being applied here. Some place they say that here the Kaizen quantity control have been applied. Ask them that at each stage of process how they manage the quantity. So both emphasize that prior learning is important in order to learn new things, and knowledge is continuously changed once it is in the learner's mind. Learners are NDDB, everyone knows it, okay? Amunde, very famous white man of India, have made it. So there is a reception learning have been happening in the perfection way. Now when I come to the HEI, advanced pedagogy, what I already discussed partly, now I'm going to the 11 steps and the sequence on the professional learning in a better way. I didn't use the word advanced pedagogy because if I use the word advanced pedagogy in this slide, it means that there no further advances can be happen. But these advances are being based on certain experiences and certain culture, certain time period, my overall different countries teaching experiences make me to make like there are the 11 points we have to look into. We go one by one. First is coming writing the instructional objectives. It's a very important. I found that teachers used to be write down the objectives of the course from the main textbook, what the author have wrote in the blurb page, last page of the book, or whatever he mentioned in the preface they take it. I said no. We have to make our writing instructional objectives by the 3 points keeping in mind. Number 1, we have to consider the cognitive domain. Means it is the activities of head. Means we should say that what knowledge should be acquired, what knowledge should be given, what understanding should be converted into. Like that number of time we can say, or let us take a very small example. A small child, when he see the dog, he get the idea that a particular animal is a dog. That is the knowledge. But as he get the some time pass, then he get the idea that dog is a one of the portion of the animal. So animal is coming to the higher level. Within the animal, dog is a one of the category of the animal. So it's an application of the knowledge. Then he analyze. Then what is the difference between cat and dog? What is the difference between dog and horse? Same way we have to analyze here. That what is the difference between trader, manufacturer, service personnel? What are the production process flow? Does it labor oriented or does it capital intensive oriented? Then we have to make the synthesis for the same. Synthesis basically says that we have to using the old concept to create the new ideas. And that is basically the composing, imagining, modifying, predicting, and combining the different parameters. Based on that, we do the evaluation. That is the assessing of the each and every theory. We should compare the different type of the ideas. That is a cognitive skill where the head is going to be used. It means that the mind capability is going to be used. So our instruction objective should also cover that what are the one or two, like say for example, we have the 7 instructional objectives for a particular course. Then our cognitive domain should cover 2 or 3 points. That what is the our view? Does we plan to provide the knowledge to the students, or we are trying to provide them the application and analysis? See, knowledge and understanding we will provide to the students in the first semester. Second semester, we may provide the application. Third semester and fourth semester, we have to make our course according to the analysis, synthesis, evaluation. Take the example of the marketing management course. Then it should say in the beginning of the course, that is a semester number 1. Assume that is semester number 1. We have the marketing course. Then it can say that to provide the knowledge to the learners about what is the marketing, understand the difference between the marketing and science. And next semester we should say that apply the marketing tools and techniques to see that how the science can be improved upon. That is analysis, application and analysis. And then next semester we may say that let us try to synthesize the different type of the advertisement given by the consumer durables. Or we can say that one particular toynator is shop company, how they have every different company, how they made their advertisement and what are the way their markets have been achieved more. Then second level, we have to make a writing instruction objective by the height of feeling. Activities of height of feeling that is effective. Do you think that it is valuable or not? It means that we should say that responding and valuing the marketing tools and techniques, organizing the activities of the marketing department, and the characterization to be done with respect to customer satisfaction level. And that is going to be the heart of it. So second type of our instructional objective should be from affective domain. This is one of the very important things. When we try to be do this way, the development, I just say that the university may say something. University have given us the broad area of the course curriculum. From that, we can create our own subset of the curriculum. And in that subset, we can create the different instructional objectives. It's a very important thing. Normally, we just say university or say something. I said no. University is being a different structure. When we come to the classroom, every college, culture, students' culture require different type of the instructional objectives to be managed. Then third, we can go to the psychomotor domain, that a movement of the organs is to be seen. Then what are going to be the guided responses are going to be happen? Perception. It means that we can say that we develop the perception about the e-marketing or fee e-advertising. How could you complex overt responses? It means that if you are a marketing person and you are getting the overt responses from the customer group, how could you respond to that and then organization to be maintained? That is the first level completed with respect to our writing of the instruction objective. Now we come to the each nation-wide objective. So our each nation-wide objective should be characterized as SMART. Stands for specific, measurable, attainable, and so. So specific is a when defined to learners that what we are going to learn, observable by teachers by raising the short question, long question, who, what, when, where, why can be made by us. Who, what, when, where, and why can be made very clearly. Measurable. So when we make a nation objective, we should also see how it is going to be evaluated. Like Madam have said that you are going to have the MCQ test. Based on that, the certification will be given. So it's how the each nation is going to be evaluated. Achievable. Learners are academically ready for objectives. So you should make that it is being achievable. Like a commerce person, you can't say that you can go on understanding the chemical formula, high level of the chemical formula because he's not ready for that objective or he's not academically strong. So it should be anyone. And being shown the prior knowledge. So there is a sequencing of the topic is to be done. Normally I used to see that whenever the commerce subjects are coming, which way due respect to my area, first chapter of every book is always boring. No student would like it. So what we do, we start our nation objectives from the nation number, chapter number 2, 3, or like that, or we go on making the change in the chapter sequence. We forget about university sequence. We make our own sequence. Own course is completed, matter end. But then what happened? that prior knowledge have been used. So there is enough time that students can easily understand from the down level to the high order level, and we give the assigned date for completion. Third, which I have already discussed about to you about the knowledge, comprehensions, applications, synthesis, and evaluation, we have already discussed in the first parameters. This theory have been developed by the Dr. Benjamin Bloom in the 1956, and he is basically known as the educational psychologist. His 6 parameters and 6 perceptions have always been worked in the very systematic way. And I also used it. When I did my diploma in educational psychology, we have been concentrated on that, how we should do it. That I did it from Australia. Then I went, then I'm trying to be applied, like what I studied in the research methodology in the University of London. And then it has given me the idea about the learning in action. This is also being made by the Blooms. The somewhere is not being so easily readable, but I'm making a point for you. You can have the copy or something, whatever madam will decide. First, learning in action is coming with respect to knowledge. Parameters we are going to come here, knowledge. First is going to be the knowledge, which is going to synapse, list, name, define, describe, memorize, recognize, locate, state the thing. So this type of words we have to use when we prepare our instructional objectives or the learning nation objectives. Comprehension. Comprehension, we should go on using the words like a match, explain, restate, defend, or paraphrase the items, or distinguish it, rewrite, summarize, give certain examples, express yourself, interpret your ideas. That is comprehension. Application side, we are going to be write down specifically in our objective, any place. It may be the instruction objective, it may be the nation objective. We have no problem. Organize. Application side, we can say organize, sketch, journalize, apply, dramatize, show. That is what we did. Then once our student have came back from the visit of NTDB, we said at that time that you go on writing and you are supposed to be suppliers. You are supposed to be submit to the management. The general way, what you understand, what you like, what you does not like it. So it comes to the two things practically combined together, application and analysis, that is compare, differentiate, analyze, subdivide. It was unfortunate that we have completed the NDDB meeting, then we were planning to be make the meeting of the soft drink maker, but because of the COVID situation and that we could not make it. Otherwise, my original plan was that they were supposed to be make a comparison between the two different type of the plant. Classify and infer and point out what are the distinguished parameters. Then from these two studies, they should compose and construct, produce the hypothesized plan. You know, number of times we used to be do the same thing. Whenever any public issue is been coming, or my marketing teachers, what they have been doing, that whenever there is a new supermall have been established in the Ahmedabad city, I say that you hypothesize, you go there, you design, you look to the design of the supermall or the particular mall, combine and create the situation. That does the supermall have finished the product at a proper level or not? Then next we are coming down as a teacher to evaluate. But here we have given the work of the evaluation to the students only, among the students only. That's what I say that. Students are making a presentation in the classroom, group project, along with the other group, other students of the classroom. Then everyone is being supposed to be judged and considered or criticize them or weigh their learning process and the way they have explained it. So learning in action is very important. Fifth is coming designing a curriculum. This sequence cannot be going that way. This is the sequence I made it to explain in this discussion. Designing a curriculum, you and me have no authority. Number of time, it is being decided by the university higher authority. So whenever we design a curriculum for our purpose, we should go on looking towards the conceptual development. As a principal of the college, I am having an authority to design the curriculum or to criticize it or to review it. Then we can say that what I mentioned, that is semester number 1, semester number 2, semester number 3. You will shock to know that in my MBA program only, I introduce the law of contact, then Constitution of India, certain clauses, certain articles in the semester number 1, certain articles and the section under the semester number 2. So that whether the students are taking HR or marketing or production, operations management or finance, they all categorically knows what is the Indian Penal Code, what is the overall Constitution of India, what is the fiscal budget, what is the role of the Parliament, what is the role of the Reserve Bank of India. So that is conceptual development by real-life application, individual study, and there we have made an linkages between theory, concept, and knowledge application in sequence from lower to higher order. And I already said that we prepare nation topics, linkage with main textbook chapter number, including reference book, and activities to be performed at pre-class level, at class level, at post-class level. Then pedagogy, curriculum we have intended, what intended and what is implemented. To take the control of the institutions as a leader, what I did, I say that every week, every teacher is supposed to mention the course completion level achieved. So if there is any carry on there, we are not being firing them. We are not saying that why you are not done it. Because the reason was very clear. Students are not machines. Students are human beings. They have their limitations. But that parameters provide us the point or teacher of a particular subject is also capable enough to know that this topic is complicated for the students, require the more time. So next time when he make a session plan, time allocation done according to that. So how to teach something, he decide. And then the act of teaching together with his attendance discourse of education theory. That's what I said. That as there is a weekend, planned activities and the achievements are being shown, and also it is being written that why it is being carried over or completed at earlier time or not completed. Then next time when the session plans are to be made, it is being taken care. So education theories, evidences and justification have been happened in the pedagogy. So effective pedagogy in the higher education is happened by 3 ways. Think, pay and say. You think what is required, you pay it with a subject level. Number of times it's happened that my finance teacher, junior finance teacher used to come to me and say that, sir, I am not in a position to explain to the students the time value of money. Then I said that, what happened? Then I come across to the knowledge that the quantitative technique teacher have not taught the particular type of the chapter. So I say that now make a reshuffling of the chapter in such a way that first the work is completed by the POM teacher, quantitative technique teacher, then only it should come to the finance teacher turn to take a particular course, particular topic. So we are paying and saying it. So main teaching objective and what is the reason? So a part of every teacher is in the students we touch. Understand that we are being somewhere constrained by our institution, pedagogic level or so. But when we as a teacher to become professional and to become successful, the reason is very important that it's mine, yours, everyone's have the experience. That wherever we go and where our own students find us, the way they give us the respect or disrespect, it depends on how we teach them in their study level. So there is a effective pedagogy number 2 is coming that there should be the visible learning should be happen in the way of the synthesis. That is the meta-analytical level. So the several studies have shown that when we combine the result of the so many perceptions and parameters on a continuous way, so that is the design and the invention of the new idea, we do it with a composing it, modifying it and combining with other subjects, give the better student learning. So there is a teaching place is coming and teacher is coming. Wherever there is a teaching place, there is a teacher. So within the teaching place, when we say the teaching, then the curriculum is important. So the development of the curriculum and its adherence is quite important. I know that when our government of Gujarat, I don't know other states, our government of Gujarat have decided that there is a course is to be reduced for the Gujarat-based government universities by 40 percentage for the end SEM examination and so. I was shocked when our students, because I am being with a private state university where we are autonomous, where my students have said that, sir, why can't we reduce it? Then we take a meeting, we have explained to them that if we reduce it for your examination offline also, what are going to be the major losses going to be happen to you? And they agreed for the same. They said that no sir, we will work on our way, but we would like to do it. So we'll be shocked to know that the few students have attended by 8 p.m. online classes to understand the course because they understand the significance of the nation and the learning. So that is the effective pedagogy way of use it. Evaluation and improvement. Next one is coming. How would you evaluate the student and what are the way improvement to be seen? So evaluation is to be done from the professional framework level of necessity and a comprehension. It means that few MCQs we can have the topic number or nation number 1 different, nation number 2 different, nation number 3 different. But one time in a month we have the 4 to 5 nations MCQ combined together being asked or short answer type questions are being developed. So at this they are incentivized to input on aspect of practice. So it does not happen that once the one nation is being completed, they are no longer very no, because they are being knowing that anyway the questions are going to be happen. So incentivize the improvement on aspect of practice that are easy to improve. So what happened that the marking schemes, internal marking schemes have been adjusted according to that. We have made a 50% external examination, that is end-sem examination, and 50% including the mid-sem examination on MCQs, then short type, question type, and everything. So these have brought the improvements framework which are selective subject to subject wise. So I can't say that what I did it for the POM, production and operation management, can be same way apply in the accounting. No, there may be some improvements have been required, some differences have been required for the marketing subject, HR subject, and those improvements have been selective and focus on practice with the biggest payoff for the students. We have more common the concepts on the practice. Practice does not mean that the student goes outside the campus and they do the practice. No. Some practice we have made it within the classroom only by using the electronic media, and we say that you can do it like that. Like one upon the time we can take a one particular film show screen and we try to say that what do we need, that here what was the window advertising have been done. That is my marketing teacher have done it. So maximize the improvement, professional frameworks have to be used selectively. Then 8th point is coming with respect to formative assessment. Now, how we do the assessment? We have made an assessment of a 3 types: long cycle, medium cycle, and short cycle. Long cycle is across the terms and the teaching units. So across the on terms we take it, on teaching units. So normally we have the MBA teaching. So MBA first year is a common course for 2 semesters. Third and fourth semester is a specialization. So the length maybe go from 4 weeks to 1 year. Because few courses we have say 2 credit point, few courses we have 1 credit point, few courses we have made 1.5 credit point. Half credit point. So based on that, the time period available or the number of teaching hours have been decided. So we monitor and we make a curricular alignment. That's I already explained to you. That once my quantitative and technique teacher complete the topic, then only it can go to the particular way. Like the same way, once quantitative technique teacher explain the linear programming or linear equation development, multiple equation development, then only in the cost accounting it can be applied when it comes to the particular decision making course. So medium second we can do within and between the teaching units. Length is going to be 1 to 4 weeks. And impact is going to be student involved assessment. In the short cycle, we do within and between the nation. See, it's a very important thing we did it. That we have the session plan, then we say the concept, like a capital structure is a teaching unit. Within that teaching unit, we have said what are the 4 or 5 modules are coming, and those are being bifurcated as a nation. The same thing you can do in the chemistry or any subject. That like engineering or metal subject, one particular metal type of metal may be considered as a teaching unit. Within that there is going to be the specific metal is coming. That will be covered on the short cycle, which is going to be happen minute to minute and day to day, which I said weekly we try to be see that what the teacher have completed the work, and engagement and the responsiveness have been seen by us. Then professional development issue is coming to us. That if we did the formative assessment as content specific, discipline specific and journal specific. Discipline specific I kept blank because some faculties may be from science, some may be from commerce, some may be from marketing, HR, like something different thing. So you can put your discipline specific. My benefits are coming like specific to those domains to be studied. and journey it applicable to the own aspect of practice. Like when we say the higher education or the management education year number 1, that is semester number 1 and 2 is going to be the journey level. When we come down to the content specific, means within the particular semester number 1, there is going to be the accounting for management, accounting for managers or accounting for management. That is specific for domain studied. The improves the achievement. When it comes to the journey level and lot of improvement is happen. Here in the content specific, Nitan level improvement can be happen because it is going to be the specialized course. Is mostly a matter of habit change. In the journey level, we talk to the students about soft training, body language, then general policies of the HR, general knowledge about acquisition of the accounting. And here there is going to be the knowledge acquisition is to be happen. And doing it is very high. Journey level, the formative assessment is very high. Because few students may not have the interest in the marketing, or few students are good in a one subject but they are not being good in a quantitative technique. Some engineering students may be good in quantitative techniques but they are not good in accounting. So it's very hard to make a formative assessment. Why it is hard in the content specifics. Where should as a teacher we should focus? Emphasis involve the two things: learning, prediction, and choices. Information is acquired in one setting. That is what is happened in the semester number 1. When learning is happened in a one setting. But information is applied to other place. That is the predictions and choices are being done. That's what I explained. That quantitative techniques teacher accomplishes something, then it should go to the finance teacher. So no, the predictions and the choices are being depends on prior knowledge of the another subject which have been taught in the same semester or any semester. If it taught in any semester, you are no longer worried. You can take that point at any point of time. But if it's happening in the same semester, then the alignment of the course structure between the two subjects is required to be done very logically. So, we have to look towards what kind of the learning environment is the teaching. What kind of the learning environment is going to be happen in the teaching. And that's going to be the one of the very important thing for you to do. So there is going to be the two types of the kind learning can be done by you. So you can say it is going to be the kind learning to happen in a proper way. Where kind learning environment is basically going to be reasoned into close match of informational elements. Close matching of the informational elements is going to be done by you into the two settings we are going to do. That is going to be the one of the close match. We have to do it. And if we do this particular close match, then it is going to be hand to the everyone in a very logical and systematic way. So that is known as a kind learning environment. Second learning environment, we have the weak learning environment where the poor match of the information elements is going to be happen. Poor match is going to be happen. So that what happened, there are two settings, we have the poor match. So that the learners are not capable enough to link the subject at all. So we have to decide that which way we should create the learning environment in the classroom. So there is a need is happen like a mapping of the terrain, like a geographical level, the way we teach it in the classroom. So as a you can say that the needle of the education. You can say one is instructional guidance is a formative level where you are deciding the formation level. You describe the individuals, that is going to be summative level. And then third perennially we are coming with a institutional accountability, that is evaluative. Because we have to pass out the student. We have to provide them the duty, number one. Number two, there is a employability of the learners is also important. The employability of learners at today's level put us to put us into the higher level. So there is a time scale we are mapping out hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. So institutional high stake accountability is being happen. You have to just now understand that how my each clinic is going to be changed the parameters, because I have made it according to the acceptable level. When you are sitting and you have to decide the whole course structure of your department, or you can say your school of studies, what way you have to do it. So the institutional accounting, you have the high stakes accountability on an annual way. Number two, at a describing level, end of unit test. You may have to do it on a weekly base or monthly base. I put between the weekly and monthly. It depends on capacity and willingness of yours. Normally what I did, like after, because of this Google form, we have provided the training to the each and every faculty, including the academic associates, to develop the MCQs, short-term, short answer type questions, examination structure based on the Google form. So that is the end of unit test being happen. Then quarterly we measure the growth of the individual students, individual group. Then we have the end SEM, end of course examination is being coming. That is year wise. Because you know now what is going to be happen because of the NEP 2020. New education policy, it was being said that after the end of the 1 year, students can take a break of 2-3 years and then later on they can join the second year onwards later on. This is the way baking system is being started. So we have the end of exams is coming. Then overly we have the hinge point question. Hinge point question means probing questions are being asked by the teacher to the students. Like a notorious students who have been looking towards the mobile or looking outside the window, certain hinge point questions are being asked. Daily we can have certain exit pass that necessary submission is to be done. For that purpose, we have made a 1 hour compulsory 2 days in a week where students are being said by the respective teacher that we internally decide which teacher will give it, of which subject, that you refer to the particular newspaper editorial and you prepare the abstract of the same and then you submit it. And that's being a part of our graded work. Then we take the before the end of unit test examination, that is a mid-sem examination, and also weekly examinations we take it. Then there is a benchmark have been done of the common assessments on a monthly basis, and then we can make annually the academic promotion of the individual student. So this is basically the mapping out of the 10. 10 is going to be the quite important for the HEI. Then we have the modern for teacher learning we have developed. content, then process. So teacher have to prepare the content and then the process he goes. That's why I say that we prepare for each nationwide in advance. Activities are decided. Which inner station is going to be discussed, which example is going to be shown, which case is going to be discussed. Everything have been given in the activity wise. So it's a process have been decided for each nation. Content, what we want teachers to change, that the evidence we ask it. And that's why I say that we have the system of a weekly reporting structure, they make it, and they keep it with them only. We are not being worried, we are not asking for them. We say that you keep it in fine. But next time, or next time whenever we have to prepare the course structure, session plan, you bring the fine. Ideas, strategies and techniques are to be do. Process, and how to go about the change to happen. We give the choice to the teacher. We are not forcing anything to the teacher to do in a X way or the Y way. We are open to the teachers. You know, we have the methodology have been adopted. Every classroom, we have the 3 boys. 3 boys we keep it. Okay? And then there is a projector is there. That is on the corner side is coming. So when there is a teacher of the marketing or accounts, anyone is teaching it, if he wanted to say the concept, its application, the process, he show it in a very proper way. So that is the model of the teacher learning we did it by choice. Flexibility is being provided 100% to them. After the session plan is made, they are allowed to change the choice of their selection. We have no problem. But the reason should be there. There is a more possibility that in the earlier the teacher may have feel that this particular case is good to taught in the classroom. But the moment he take the new batch along with him, after few study he come across that case that students are not capable enough to cope up with that. Then he may go to the lower level of the case or the higher level of the case. That type of the flexibility we provide and accountability we give it to him, to the teacher. So it's basically the 11th point number A is very important, and where the management provides 100 type of support, that's what I say. That we have the very nicely, the classrooms have been made so that 3 boards are there, teachers can write it very nicely, different ways, so there is no need to age out between the 2 class being between the changeover of the class, the particular peon come and clean the board. This is the way we did it. So then what happened, that teacher does not turn out to clean the board and something has been goes wrong. You know, it's a very small petty matter, not costing much, but made a very major impact for the university to survive. What is needed from teacher? A commitment to continual improvement of practice. We are saying to the teacher that you are supposed to do the continual improvement. Focus on those things that make a difference to students. Means students understand properly. Someone says that we want to do something, we allow them. As a leader, means as a principal or someone, commitment to create effective learning environment for teachers. For continuously improving practice, we send them to the faculty development programs at some places. We create our own faculty development program. They are having a proper resources are being given to do the research work and get it research published, keeping the focus on the things that make a difference to the students. Providing the time, space, dispensation and support for innovation to the teachers. That if the teacher wants to be doing it in a garden area, we allow them to go and do it. We have no problem. But objectives should be completed. And support for risk taking. So in conclusion, I can say that teaching is a vehicular learning environment. Research must inform, but cannot dictate the action. And that's why we say our teachers to go through the own web of science, research paper available of their subject, study on their own, get published the paper. But we a very important thing is that no paid publication we allow. We are stick that if your non-paid publication 1 is equal to 3 paid publications. This is the logic we alternatively use. We focus them to develop the model, use it, apply it. In our university, we have also the agriculture is one of the very important things. So we need to focus it. Curriculum, distributed practice, and we do the practice testing. Pedagogy is going to be contingent, means according to the situation we change it. It is going to be responsive. Assessment, we do it based on decision given data connection. Culture, we develop that all teachers are improving. We don't believe in throwing away the teacher, to terminate the teacher. We know that the teacher is become the teacher by passion. If he didn't came by passion, then he went to the industry. Or if he is trying to be apply and getting the job in the industry, we should understand that they are not much interested in the teaching on the things that makes the biggest difference to the students. Any questions, friends? Now we can have the question and answer session. I hope, madam, I have completed within the given time period. I took the 1 hour and 21 minutes. I took it. So, yeah, session is open for any question and the discussion. Yes, tell me. Yes, tell me. Okay. Okay. See, whenever I got your point, I understand that your point is that NEP 2020, when it's going to be allow the students to select the subject according to their choice, how the vocational guiding and the vocational course development can be done. I think that is your question very clear. See, huh, see, and that is why I say that we as a teacher of the higher education, we have to be professional teacher. It means that our reading should not be limited to our subject. We should have to understand the related subject also. Like I said that very recently, whenever we have something have been happening in our management department, and we have the agriculture sector is on agriculture department, engineering department also in our university. So we are being trying to be make sure that as a teacher, I am also going someday to the engineering division and try to understand the general flow of the assembly to the agriculture department, the different type of the cultivations, horticulture activities are being done. So I'm not getting a master in that. Let me understand. In a vocational training, other than your area, you does not require the mastery like that teacher, but you require to know the technical jargon used in those particular faculty area so that you can coordinate it. Like what is the difference between the cultivation, what is the difference is happen, what are the different criteria to be adopted. Like when we come down to the engineering, then we should have the general idea that what is the what we can say the tapping is done, what is the threading is done, the way tools are created, what is known as the tools. Something such type of the basic technical terminology should be known to us. So when our students are coming from different stream, our example should include, in case of need, those type of the technical words. Then only it can be happen. Because NEP 2020 have made a major challenge for the teacher at our category. That we are subject special needs. One side, NEP 2020 says that as a subject special needs, you are supposed to be get a 2 research papers should be minimum published a year. One side that burden, second side you have the burden to learn the other subject. So we are at this moment under the higher burden level. But to make as a professional teacher, we should have the knowledge of the technicality. Okay, I think you got my point. Clear? Okay. Yes. Yes, tell me. No problem. Yes. Yes. Okay. See what at our university we have been planning, but we don't know in Ahmedabad now the another virus have started to penetrate, and the situation is supposed to be changing later on period. But what we have been thinking as a leader Nevan, that whoever the volunteers are going to be there, we are planning to be volunteers to be decided based on their time period. Okay. Now we are being deciding in the way that whenever the volunteers are going to be supporters for development of the academical information or gathering of the information, then money we are going to pay to them. Okay, that is what we have decided. And to make that work easy, we have said that we will make you the payment on a hourly basis. That is the way we are being voluntarily allowing them and encouraging them to support in the vocational training. There is no other alternative. Second thing, whenever vocational trainees are coming to us, we have to provide them the guidance in the vernacular language. Number one. Number two, they will also be provide the report to us in the vernacular language. So we have created the situation that somewhere the translation is to be done in the from vernacular language into the English language by another volunteer, because faculty is already busy with their own working. Their academic associates are already being busy. So we have created a two type of the volunteer structure. Number one, like who are being practically supporting us in the teaching and learning activities on a hourly basis, and second group of the volunteers who are being involved in translation from one place to the another place, from one language to the another language. Being in a Gujarat, there is a UP side students are there. We have majority who are being understanding the Hindi. So those volunteers are going to be give us the information in Hindi. So we have been planning to make that the second group of the volunteers we will pay for the translation. And there everything we cannot keep it on the system, because Google and those cannot be 100% surety about it. Volunteers are being allowed to use those particular tools and technique if they wish, but ultimately it is their responsibility that they give the perfect translation. I think you got my point, sir. Hello, hello. Are you clear with this? Thank you very much. See, there is a multi-dimensional way how to do it. You- s- Thank you very much. Yes, any other question, friends? Friends, anyone being required, then they can go through my YouTube channel and like it or subscribe for it. My few channels are YouTube's have been coming and research everywhere you can see me. Okay. I suggest all participants to get themselves registered with a research guide because research guide is provide you much more better avenues of the abstract available of your innate subject or multidimensional or multidisciplinary subject you can come across. So research get is also one of the very important parameters having available to you so that you are capable enough to link it with a different type of the subject, including the Google Scholar will support you further same. Yes, any other thing? Later on also, if anyone have any question, they can email to me. Within the 2 to 3 days, I answer it. I never promise immediate answer. Yes, madam, any other question? Yes, sir. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much, madam. Thank, thank you very much, madam. And on participants, I hope that everyone understand that there's a how we can manage higher education institutions and the curriculum development and everything. Thank you very much. I think now I'm being existing, madam.